Do I want movies for seconds? Movies for minutes? Movies for hours? No, I want movies for days. Hi, this is Ryan Wilson, host of You Gonna Eat That Crust podcast. And when I want to go to a deep dive into a movie, I go to Movies for Days with your host, Professor Newman, laying down those ultra fantastic movies, those deep dives, and the best damn Nicolas Cage impression I have ever heard. So join Newman and his cast of rotating hosts as they bring you Movies for Days, another podcast brought to you by the You Run Podcast Network. What up, everybody? Welcome to the You Gonna Eat That Crust podcast, Stuffed Crust Edition. I'm your host with the most on the ones and twos. You know it's me, Professor Platypus. It's your boy Mount Crushmore, Fatback Supreme. You know me, Ryan Wilson. And with me tonight, follically challenged himself, the sweatpants overlord, motherfucking big leg Greg Hoey in the house. What's up, Greg?
MC Big Leg Greg, what up? What's up, y'all?
Big because they're muscular.
Yes, and veiny and gross.
Also with us tonight, drums so fast they call him Blink 183. Don't say his name 3 times, he'll appear. It's your boy, Nate Harvey. Nate, what's good?
Oh, that your intro was good. That's what's up.
That's my passion.
When I found out you were going to join us on this one, I just couldn't wait to hear what the intro was going to be.
Oh, well.
So now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to leave now. So see ya.
Great. Well, it was great talking to you for sure. And, welcome back anytime.
Oh, great.
Ryan brings the intros. He brings the intros.
He does.
I am the hype man.
Yeah.
Just like Seamus brings the excellent episode description, Ryan brings the excellent intros, and my legs are big.
And veiny, so.
Yes, and gross. My mom's very worried.
Well, Seamus is not here to do an intro for us, so I guess we'll just talk about what we're doing tonight. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are each naming off our favorite underground hip-hop albums from 2001 to 2005. 2000 to 2005. That's what I said, Greg.
You said 2001.
It doesn't matter through the joy of editing. So, hip-hop very near and dear to all our hearts. I was super excited to do this episode, and I'm excited to talk with you guys about some of my most influential hip-hop albums.
All right, why don't you fucking kick it off with number 5 for you? I guess it doesn't have to go in any order, just 5. I don't know if they're in any order for you.
Not really used to anyone telling me what to do, but I could definitely do that. All right, I'm going to start with maybe the biggest one on my list, one of the most important ones to me. Anytime anyone asks me, like, oh, you don't like what I listen to for hip-hop? What should I listen to? And I always go with Blackalicious Blazing Arrow, released April 30th, 2002.
Nice.
To me, this is nearly a perfect hip-hop album, front to end. The rhymes are so smooth and so intelligent and on point, and he just has... Gifted Gab just has the most amazing vocals. Like, the way that he strings together words is second to none. And, I was so sad to find that he, passed away a couple years ago. I was definitely bummed because he played in Portsmouth like the year before. I was like, holy shit, he's coming to Portsmouth.
It's almost like he's got a gift of the Gab.
Yeah, it's not just a clever name.
Yeah.
So you guys have any love for this album? Blackalicious, Gifted Gab in general? Greg?
Yeah, hell yeah, I do. That's one thing I gotta say. I mean, this is 2000, 2005 hip hop albums. I mean, we could have had 25 each. There's just so many great ones. So That definitely could have made my list just as easy. I think it's a fantastic album. I agree, top to bottom. I do think that dude's amazing, and they get some bangers, especially when Daniel Radcliffe does it.
I was gonna bring that up. Was that Conan O'Brien or some shit?
Yeah,
Where he went on and he did fucking alphabet aerobics top to bottom. It was fucking impressive. That was the first time I was like, maybe this kid's not a wuss. I don't know. Now I like him.
Yeah, he's the shit. Levioso!
Guns Akimbo. What's up?
Yeah.
Nate, any love for Gift Gab, Blackalicious?
So because I'm so much older than you guys, my my hip hop scale isn't quite up to par with you. So I've never heard this album.
What the fuck?
So we're the professors, you're the students. Get ready to take some notes.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I wrote it down. I'll be checking out that album tomorrow.
All right. Well, I put on some recommends from this album for songs. I got The Sky is Falling, 4,000 Miles with Jurassic 5,
Ooh.
Paragraph President, It's Going Down, Passion, and Release are all fucking just banger songs. And definitely check that shit out.
Oh, for sure.
Blacklicious is the shit. Have you heard Blacklicious at all?
No, not at all. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. You're in for a treat then.
And I gotta say, like, even for what year this came out, the production is really on point with it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because some of the other albums I have on here, the production is definitely like, oh, this sounds like early 2000s recordings.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, Nate, let's not waste any time then, since I want to hear what you have for your first pick.
My first pick, I'm going to bring it back to 2005.
All right.
With Gym Class Heroes Paper Cut Chronicles.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, shit.
So this is what got me into hip-hop. Coming from a pop punk background, these guys played Warped Tour. They were on like different punk albums and stuff like that. So it got me into them. Full live band. They do it live. It's amazing. Yeah, they're just an incredible band. I wish that Travis McCoy didn't get all hyped up on heroin and mess it all up for everyone. But
that's a dope ass album. And yes, their band is super tight, and they bring they bring the live hip hop, kind of like the Roots, pretty much as well. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I definitely dig the Gym Class Heroes. I gotta say, Gym Class Heroes is probably one of the coolest names for a group ever. So,
oh yeah.
We played back in the day, Solid 8, Ryan's favorite band. We were doing this thing called Mojo Studios, where it was like an internet radio show that went across the world before like the internet was super huge.
Yeah.
But we went there, and one of the bands that had just had on was Gym Class Heroes.
Oh,
and
really?
We came back and did a PBS special, and I was wearing my ICP shirt.
You're so cool.
I was not cool.
Gym Class Heroes, their guitar player is fucking disgusting.
Oh,
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He brings that like straight up like some nasty jazz in his fucking in his progressions and
exactly. Yeah.
I do love they are a great group, and I haven't liked any of Travie McCoy's fucking solo shit at all.
No, yeah. You take like the pop stuff out of it, and like it's solid. Like he's got some good rhymes and just
he's a dope
clever.
rapper.
Yeah. When I played Warped Tour in 2011, they were playing as well, and I remember I was walking past him where the buses are parked or whatever, and he's doing laundry or whatever. He's sitting there with his dog. All of a sudden, this gust of wind comes and blows his tent right out from over his head and just like down the street, and he's just sitting there like, what the fuck?
He just sat there. He's like, oh, I want to be a billionaire so
bad. Yeah. So that was wild. And then I just kept walking, and I was like, I should do my laundry.
All right, Greg. Let's hear what you got, buddy.
All right, I'm going back to 2003. This is their only album. I'm talking Non-Profits, Hope.
I knew
produced by Joe Beats, all vocals by Mr. Sage Francis himself, released on September 29, 2003. This is a raw, dark, dirty album. Like, I love it. I think Sage Francis's rhymes are just, talk about a clever MC. Sage is he might not have the best rap voice, but the dude's rhymes are super intelligent, funny, clever. Like, I don't know. I love Sage Francis, and the Non-Profits are probably my favorite Sage Francis work, in my opinion. Like, I fucking just love it.
Yeah, I love all things Sage Francis. I bumped that Non-Profits album hundreds of times probably in my lifetime. I love his solo shit. I love the Epic Beard Men. Put Sage Francis on a project and I'll listen to it.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't know, just I feel like the non-profit's a little bit more offensive, even though he's pretty offensive himself. But
Yeah.
non-profits have some funny ass shit. I love Damage, Any Port. There's just so many great songs. I like it pretty much top to bottom. I think it's the curse at the end there. Get like just one of the sickest guitar riffs. It's so dope.
Nate, familiarity with this album?
Not so much, but I did listen to Sage Francis today. So does that buy me anything at all?
A little street cred.
Like a tiny bit?
Yeah, man, you're fine.
All right, sweet.
I like varying perspectives on this podcast.
Yeah.
All right? I know you like Pennywise.
Exactly. I heard the excitement with Broham the other day.
Yeah, I used to be in hardcore and punk bands in the 90s. So, I played shows where sometimes you'd hear Broham twice in one set by 3 different bands. So I've been there, man. I've been there.
As you should.
My next pick is by probably one of the most, in my mind, prolific rappers that's come out in the past 2 decades. One of the most intelligent rappers. Like, his rhymes are on a level that I can't even comprehend.
I know where you're going.
I'm still thinking like Ice Cube when I rap, and then I hear this guy, and I'm like, oh, yeah, we're not even in the same fucking territory. And I'm talking about Aesop Rock.
Nice.
And his third album, Labor Days, which came out on Definitive Jux Records. Just a very raw album, very early, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm like, oh, this sounds like a 2000s recording, because it does. But, I mean, it's all there. You can see what he's going to become, the juggernaut that he's going to become. One of the most respected MCs. He holds some sort of record for most unique words in his rap catalog. Eminem was second, and Aesop Rock's unique word vocabulary per song per his albums was 10,000 above Eminem. So that's the level of rapper he is.
What wasn't None Shall Pass his next album after this one?
Yeah, and that's the album that really got me fucking into him.
Yeah, that album's fucking dope as hell.
But have a pretty deep knowledge of Def Jux Records and all their artists and shit, and it's a record label that was started by LP back in the late 90s, and it just has such a fucking bevy of amazing rappers in it. We're talking Mr. Liff, we're talking Cannibal Ox, Vast Aries, C-Ray's Walls, who I got to do a show with back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Cage, Rob Sonic, Aesop, Yak Balls, RJD2, Acrobatic. I mean, this was a record label that got me firmly rooted in hip hop. Like, once I found Aesop, I started kind of digging everything that they put out. Fucking, I'm on LimeWire, looking up all these artists and shit, and man, that was my shit. And for honorable mentions or for songs I really liked on this album, I got Daylight, Flash Flood, One Brick, Coma, Bent Life featuring C-Ray's Walls, The Yes and Y'all, and the 9 to 5ers Anthem. This isn't the Aesop album I would recommend to people, but it's definitely, you could just see where he's going to be.
How do you feel about Aesop Rocky?
I hate any other ASAP adjacent rapper. Okay. Aesop Rocky, ASAP, all of them. $sign guy. I can't stand. I'm such a fucking rap snob. Like, people like, oh, you should check out. I'm like, yeah, I definitely will. And then I know if I do, I'm only going to make it through like half a song. We're like, nope. Because everything's just trap, and it's like, I don't want to hear auto-tuned anything. That's not who I am. Greg, any love for Aesop?
Yeah, hell yeah. Like I said, I love None Shall Pass. I know I've heard songs on this album. I haven't really gravitated towards it completely. I was too busy listening to Aesop Rocky, but of course, Aesop Rock's the shit.
What about you, Nate?
I've only heard a couple, so I'm not as hip hop as you guys. You guys are authentic.
Nobody's as hip hop as me. I'm an elitist.
Thumping Thursdays himself, right?
Oh, hey, whoa, yeah, I guess. Yeah, so I mean, I would definitely recommend a deep dive into his catalog, Nate, just so you'll feel stupid, because that's how I feel after I listen to him.
Yeah.
Start with None Shall Pass.
All right.
Yeah, but check out everything. I mean, all his shit's fucking fantastic.
Yep.
None shall pass. Just writing it down, taking my own notes.
Do your thing, player. All right, Nate. What do you got next, buddy?
I'm gonna go with Atmosphere. 2000. I mean, he's got almost an album every year that from 2000 to 2005. But I'm gonna go with a Bad Dub 2. which came out in 2000.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I listened to like 4 of his albums today, and like that one stuck out the most. It wasn't what I was listening to at the time. But listening now, that was the one that got me.
I want to say that one's got like ID and Sage Francis on it.
I think it does.
Embarrassed. That's a great
Yeah,
song.
Embarrassed. Yeah. That song's
So
awesome.
good. I just like the way he puts things together, his flow. That's the style of hip hop that I'm really into.
That's a good style of hip hop. That's
Yeah.
you definitely like Aesop. I think Aesop's around that style. I believe. This is for Atmosphere. Would you agree, Ryan, or no?
I'd say
Atmosphere is kind of more of a storyteller, I guess.
Yeah, well,
but not that Aesop's not a storyteller.
Yeah, he's more just metaphysical.
Yeah.
I'll say that Atmosphere is kind of the rapper, or Slug. It's kind of the rapper who taught me how to rap, how to write a fucking like story in a song and keep it true to myself. Like hearing, the first time I heard Seven's Travels, I remember I was with the wife way back in the day, and we were listening to the Mothership Connection on WUNH. I heard Trying to Find a Balance on WUNH, and then I would call in and request that song like every week thereafter.
Yeah.
And when I first got that album, man, I was like just absolutely floored by the style of hip hop that he puts out. I mean, there's nobody else like him in the game, really. And he's so driven, and like Rhymesayers is now such a prolific company. Like they've done so much for hip hop. It's goes without saying.
Hell yeah.
Don't mind if I piggyback on that with Atmosphere's third album, Seven's Travels.
Oh, shit.
September 23rd, 2003.
Nice.
Always Coming Back Home to You, Denver, Colorado, National Disgrace. I remember Always Coming Back Home to You. We covered that with the Wisecrackers, I believe.
Nice.
Or at least we tried to. And
Nice.
I don't think it came out that great. I don't even know if you were in the band at that time, Nate.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that album was my first Atmosphere introduction. But of course, I dug back deep, and God Loves Ugly and all that stuff.
That was the first one I ever heard. Was that album?
Trying to Find a Balance. My buddy Jason, who is very hip hop, is one who introduced me to Atmosphere. Him and Gino.
Gino Juice.
Yes.
Gino.
So they introduced me to Atmosphere, and it kind of changed my style of hip hop for a long time, because I think I was like fucking around with like some fucking wacky shit. I was like the Beastie Boys and other stuff. I said I grew to love some awesome hip hop, but like, my hip hop game early on was weak. It was Beastie Boys and Rage until I discovered some good shit, and Atmosphere kind of set me off on that, and I haven't looked back since. And yeah, I think Slug and Ant, the producer, is fantastic. I've seen him a couple times, and Ant's always like just walking through the crowd, chilling like a villain. But yeah, Seven's Travels is fantastic album.
You said Gino's the one that got you into that?
Yeah, Gino 100%.
Hotter than a
jalapeno. Yeah.
Yeah, same guy.
Yep, Gino
Okay,
100% introduced me to, because he I remember when
Nice.
he wrote that really bad email to me. He told me he's like yeah, he's like he's like I told you about all this hip hop and you listen to whack shit, and he really fucking beat me down. I was like, okay, that's all right.
Well, I'm glad you guys hatched that all out, and it's your
We
top
did.
5 now.
Yo, fuck yeah, dude. I love Atmosphere. I kind of fell off Atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, I think there's better stuff than Atmosphere, but like Ryan said, Rhymesayers, fantastic label, done so much for hip hop. I have another artist from Rhymesayers, or formerly from Rhymesayers.
Well, I hope it's not this next album that I have, Greg, because my next album is Ipecac Neat by POS.
It's
nice.
not.
Good. I heard POS for the first time when we went and saw Atmosphere in Boston.
Yes, same.
He was the opener, and I was just like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And, Ipecac Neat was the first studio album by POS, released on Doomtree Records in 2004, re-released on Rhymesayers in 2005. And this guy just kind of challenged the conventions of what a hip-hop song could be. I mean, his beats are insane. Like, some of the shit that he raps over, I couldn't ever imagine rapping over. Couldn't imagine anyone else being able to pull it off in such an authentic way. Then, he disappeared. He had some fucked up shit go down where he, had a kid with a girl or some shit, but was dating and fucking girls all around the country. And he kind of canceled himself.
He did cancel himself.
And this year, he recently started re-emerging from the shadows. I started listening to this rapper called MC Type, and I noticed there was a POS fucking guest spot on it. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh,
It's like, we haven't heard POS in years. And since that album came out, we've heard 3 different POS projects come out this year. A Shredder's album and another album that he did with some guy that was But the Shredder's albums are fucking on fire. POS is on fire. Favorite songs from this are Math Head versus McNugget. That one, Music for Shoplifting,
Hell yeah.
Kicking Knowledge in the Face, Matador, and Duct Tape.
Fuck yeah.
And huge, probably my favorite rapper.
I had to just make an audible and change because that was the album I had. So I changed it to something different because I mean there's so many lists or so many hip hop albums in 2000, 2005 that are so good, so it's easy to be like, all right, I have a backup plan. But no, I agree. Ipecac Meat, POS, definitely one of my favorite rappers of all time. I love Never Better. I love all his albums. They're fucking fantastic. Yeah. And he's Nate, you would really, actually, I think you've heard.
Oh, no, I actually almost had this on my see, this as well, to be honest.
Because I knew you would like it just because like the industrial, like kind of like punk beats and shit.
Yeah. Well, see, I really liked Never Better. So that's the only reason why I didn't put it on the list. So, but yeah, POS is outstanding.
We met him at a show, and I told him that Never Better was one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time, and I think he like laughed at me.
Was that the show that Greg was trying to convince him to let us be his backing band?
I don't think so. This was the show where I was wearing my Bush No Jobs, Clinton Blowjobs shirt, and he said, "Hey man, that's an awesome shirt." And I think I said, "Hey, you want to smoke some weed?" And he was like, "No."
And no.
Nice. He knew you were from Rochester.
He did.
Sorry. Although it was pretty cool drinking that Gonic proper beer the other night, I must say. It was brewed in the Roch, so it's an actual Gonic beer, Greg. So.
Is that at the mill, I take it?
I think so, yeah.
There's a brewery at the mill, I believe.
There was 4 packs for sale at Borderline for $4. I'm like, sold.
Did it taste like the dump and the sewer?
Tasted like the Brickyard, dude.
Okay.
It's a very distinct flavor right there.
Delicious. Red Rocks.
All right, Nate, hit me one more time.
I'm gonna get ugly on this one, and it pains me to say it.
But I'm upset already.
Yeah, I know. Both of you sit down. It's Jay-Z Unplugged.
Ooh, recently canceled Jay-Z?
Yes, yeah, that's why I almost didn't do it. And you know what? Listening back to it today, there's some lyrics that you're like, whoa. Did you just say you got her a ring pop? You stopped giving her ring pops? Like, dude, what? But all right, that stuff aside, Unplugged, it's with the Roots as his backup band.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
It's just an incredible album. I never liked Jay-Z before I heard that album, and just the Roots behind him made me enjoy it.
Again, some people lose their fucking minds. I don't care what anyone says. The Kanye West first few albums are fucking amazing. But he's a fucking nutcase, and he's lost his goddamn mind.
Yep, totally. And
I think Jay-Z's a great rapper. I mean, he's not like my favorite, but like when we did like the Jay-Z Linkin Park mashup shit, like that was like some of the most fun rap to rap. Like I used to love doing that song. Yeah, and I obviously respect the shit out of Jay-Z. He's not one of my favorites, but I think he's a good rapper and definitely belongs on hip hop best lists.
Right.
For sure.
See, and that's where you guys take your hip hop knowledge to the 10s, and I'm like, yeah, I like Jay-Z, guys.
Well, I'm a piece of shit though, right? I'm like such a snob and such a music elitist at this point in my life. I've never liked Jay-Z or Lil Wayne or Kanye. Like, I'm just too snobby and I'm too cool for that. You guys understand? You know where I'm coming from, right?
I do.
I'm just being a piece of shit.
I said to Greg, I'm like, yo, we shouldn't do 2000 to 2005. Because, like, when I hit Spotify, it was like Lil Wayne and, like, all that crap kept popping up. I'm like, yo, I messed up. I just wanted to put Gym Class Heroes on my list. That's the only reason I picked it. So listen, I was backpedaling, and then I found better stuff. So
I'm not a huge Lil Wayne fan, but I've come a long way, and I respect Lil Wayne. I think Lil Wayne's a good rapper. He's just not my style.
Right.
And just like I think Jay-Z's a good rapper, he's just not necessarily my style. I wouldn't just dive into a Jay-Z album. This Jay-Z Unplugged album sounds way more cooler than any of his albums because with the Roots, anything's fucking awesome. The Roots are the shit.
Yep.
Yes, the Roots are the shit.
So good. So good.
All right, well, continuing with Rap Snob's list. Here we go.
It's my turn.
I'll tell you when it's your turn, Greg.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, buddy.
This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Hip hop, 2000 to fucking whenever. 99, 98, 97. I'm just counting backwards now. I'm talking one of my favorite rappers of all time. I first heard this dude playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I'm talking Deltron 3030 with Dan the Automator, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, and DJ Kid Koala. This album was released in 2000. I fucking love this album top to bottom. I think Del is absolutely amazing, whether it be the Gorillas, whether it be his solo stuff. I just love the way this dude flows. His lyrics are always super cool, super clever, and I think his voice is just fucking awesome.
What song on Tony Hawk was it?
I think it's...
You got to brush your teeth, you must.
And now that I'm thinking back, it might have not even been that. It might have been the Gorillas when I first heard Del, and then so I know he had
no way. Tony Hawk was out before that fucking the Gorillaz album came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Because that's from Phony Franchise album, or that's If You Must, and that's a good album as well. I think that was like 2001, 2002. That's a good album as well. But Deltron 3030 is just like I think they have two Deltron 3030 albums, and the second one was alright, but the first one, 3030, is the shit. Mastermind, just the opening track, I think it's just Deltron 3030 is fucking fantastic. Dan the Automator is fantastic producer. I want to say he's connected to Blur in some way.
Who?
Isn't Dan the Automator connected to Blur? No?
I don't know. I just know Blur went on to, become the Gorillaz eventually, and that's where we have that Del fucking connection.
That's where I'm probably connecting that. Don't listen to me.
Dude, this was this is actually a random album that I picked up at Bull Moose one day. The album that fucking Tony Hawk song's on, and Deltron 3030, I picked up at fucking Bull Moose one day as a random fucking, it was in the indie hip hop label. I would just grab CDs from there whenever I went, just a handful of whatever, just to see what was out there. The production on the album blew me away. Dan the Automator is fucking sick as fuck on that album, man. Yeah, dude, obviously, we also got Hieroglyphics from fucking Del, and they're fucking the shit. And
yeah, Hieroglyphics, super rap group. Yeah, they're the shit. I want to say that Dragon, a.k.a. Al McCarthy, is the one who turned me on to Deltron 3030. I was always aware of Del, and I know that Ice Cube discovered Del. And I don't know. I just love the dude's voice. I love the dude's flow. I think he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, definitely a unique voice in hip-hop. All right, boys. Well, here we go. My next album over the years since his death, this guy's blown up more than anything. But I started listening to him when same time around Adult Swim got kicking off. And, we had Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Space Ghost Coast to Coast. And every Sunday, the wife and I would sit down and watch that. And, they were always playing those dope cuts of music during their fucking splash screens. Someone they kept featuring on those splash screens was one MF Doom. Yeah. And that's why I picked Mad Villainy for my pick. Dropped in 2002 with we got Mad Libs on production and fucking MF Doom on the vocals. Also additional production, because there's no MF Doom projects that come out where he's not all over it. He was an insane producer. You could definitely hear him on this album a lot. Just the Frank Zappa of hip hop to me. A guy who rhymes, his rhymes shouldn't work, but they do, and only he can pull them off. And just his whole just persona and larger than life, dude. The comedian Hannibal Buress once did an MF Doom show as MF Doom with the mask on, while MF Doom was doing another show in another place. And then people were like, how is he two places at the same exact time? And he's like, because I'm the motherfucking villain. Just insane.
I had this as one of my backups that I was gonna plug in there, but I knew you were gonna have it. So as the MF Doomer of the group,
I've never even heard of him.
Oh,
Surprise!
shit.
Surprise!
Write it down. This is a
Oh
great
wait, I
album.
already did.
Check that out. Check Food as well. That's a real fucking great album.
What is it? Food.
Yep.
All right.
My buddy Jason, when I asked him like what his top 5 was, one of them was this album, and he's like, I could have MF Doom as my top 5 every album. I was like, all right.
Well, I mean, there's no shortage of work that he put out because he wasn't just MF Doom. He was fucking King Ghidorah, Victor Vaughn. I mean, multiple personas under multiple different albums, and like his just a deep inspiration from like old fucking Hanna-Barbera cartoons and shit and old sci-fi movies, just peppered all over that shit. And it's fucking so weird and it's so dope, and big recommend from me.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
For favorite tracks, I got Curls, Money Folder, Figaro, Strange Ways, Fancy Clown featuring Victor Vaughn, so he's featured on his own album, and All Caps. I mean, All Caps is an iconic fucking legendary song. You don't spell MF Doom motherfucking lowercase, dog. All right, Nathaniel.
All right.
We're back at you.
I'm going to go...
Don't disappoint me this time.
Well, depends how you look at this one. I'm going to go a little bit off the cuff here.
All right.
2002 album. Some may say it's not hip hop enough, but according to their Wikipedia page, it says they are rappers.
Hey, that's not hip hop enough.
Oh shit. Well, I'm going to go with the Transplants self-titled album. It's like hip hop, but it's more yelling hip hop, if you will.
I don't know what the fuck the Transplants are.
You don't?
Nah,
or you do?
Stumped.
All right, so it's got Tim Armstrong from Rancid, it's got Travis Barker from Blink, and then the most important guy, I don't know his name. Skinhead Rob. He does the rapping. Just a great mix of like punk and hip hop. Yeah, again, it's to me coming from the pop punk world, merging into the hip hop thing. This is when I met Greg. We did the Wisecrackers. This is some of its finest.
Well, Nate, I'm a big Rancid fan, so
I know. I'm proud of that.
You got me right there, man. So I'm gonna put it on my Spotify right now.
Yeah, right? Do it. Yep, self-titled. They're the ones.
Supergroup.
It
says
Supergroup.
Shit.
Yes. Yeah. See.
Isn't that the dream? To be in a supergroup? To be the next Temple of the Dog? I think so.
To be Supertramp? Yes.
Oh, shit.
The next Mad Season?
Oh, shit. All right, Greg, you have any knowledge of Transplants?
I like Rancid.
And what about their
Travis
major
Barker.
hit they had in a shampoo commercial there? Diamonds and Guns? No? Nothing?
I don't use shampoo.
Yeah.
Just it's mayo. I use a lot of mayo.
Ryan's so hip hop he doesn't use shampoo.
Yeah, that's right.
He
That
just
is
uses
hip-hop.
Diamonds and Guns.
That's all you need.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for stumping me on that one, Nate. I can't wait to check it out.
And it might not be as hip hop as it needs to be, but it's hip hop to me. All right.
I got a long day on the ride to work tomorrow, and if I don't like it, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I got nothing then. You might be pissed.
All right, Sweatpants Overlord, what do you got?
All right, I had to pull this one from the reserve. One of Farside's members, my favorite Farside member, we're talking The Loneliest Punk, released on November 1st, 2005, Mr. Fat Lip himself.
Ooh, good album.
Yes, sir. Today's Your Day featuring Charlie Tuna, which is a fantastic song. I Got This Shit, MIA, The Story of Us, like, album's pretty fucking fire. Again, I had Ipecac Neat, but like I said, there's so many great albums. I had to pull a few, and Loneliest Punk, Fat Lip. I mean, if you like the Far Side and you like Fat Lip, he's kind of cracked out a little bit, but his lyrics are pretty off the wall. I always thought he was the best rapper in the Far Side, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's a pretty fire album. Today's the Day with Charlie Tuna is worth it alone. That song is
that
fire,
song's
dude.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Charlie Tuna is the shit. I mean, I don't know why I left Quality Control off this list, because that album fucking changed me as a human being. I don't think I listened to anything but that album for an entire summer.
That album I just crossed out. That was also one of my reserves. I figured I would go a little different. But yeah. Jurassic 5, obviously, honorable mention. Both those albums, even Power in Numbers is a dope album.
Yeah.
Not as good as
absolutely.
Quality Control, but Quality Control, fantastic. Roots-esque,
Nice.
Yeah. All right, my last pick. Again, the wife and I, every Wednesday, we had a ritual that we would sit in the driveway at the place we were living, drink beers and smoke weed and listen to the Mothership Connection every week. And it exposed me to a lot of great hip hop, fucking Adeem, Static Selecta, just a bunch of like underground shit that I wouldn't have heard otherwise. And, this is back before, computers, really. Not computers, but, where we are now. So you really had to search for the shit you wanted to hear. And I heard this song played one night called The Point of No Return. The lyrics to this song were so powerful that my jaw hit the floor. And it was another fucking artist I would call in weekly and like, yo, play this, play this, play this. And that is Immortal Technique.
Hell yeah, dude.
Revolutionary Volume 2 is just such a jaw dropper of an album. This guy is so politically charged and so knowledgeable about third world countries and like world history. It's a powerful fucking album, man. Highlights off the album are Point of No Return, Peruvian Cocaine, Obnoxious, Dance with the Devil, Cause of Death. Just, if you haven't listened to this album and you want to be floored by some lyricism, put on Point of No Return, because it's going to fucking drop your fucking jaw to the floor.
That album is on my reserve list, and my buddy Jason is the one who introduced me to Immortal Technique. So, there's the shit.
I'm just running out of room on my notes here of things I need to listen to. So thank God we're at 5.
Yeah, thank God this is a podcast, so you can just keep on, you can play it back one time when we release it after it's edited perfectly.
That's true. That's true. I'm sure that won't take long.
All right, you guys have one more each, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, guest of honor, Nate.
Oh,
give it to me.
All right,
give it to me hard, Nate.
I got 2 left on my list here that I could go with. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go with Eminem.
Nice.
Fuck.
Yep, I'm doing it. So, out of the 2 albums of those years, I'm gonna go with the Eminem Show, and I know it's probably not lyrically as well as the other one. I just enjoyed the Eminem Show a little bit more. It just hit a lot harder. It's what I listened to at that time in history. Cleaning out my closet was probably my favorite little drum beat ever, and I always do it fucking around, and no one knows it. But now everyone knows, because I just told everyone.
I think the kids are saying buddy, Nate, just so you
know. Oh, buddy knows what I'm doing.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
No disrespect picking that album, dude. Eminem's one of the fucking best, dude.
No, he is. It's good. It's solid. No, I mean, all of his albums are actually pretty good.
Yeah,
so.
Some would say he's a rap god.
Yes. A rap god. Yeah.
I guess I like older. I like Eminem maybe as he got a little bit older and a little more disillusioned with the world. I'm not a huge Eminem guy.
Mm-hmm. Before he was cleaning out when his closet was full.
Yeah, when he had a dirty closet.
I checked out everything he puts out, always looking for like that one track, that's I know I'm gonna vibe with, but good pick.
I think he's a good lyricist.
There's no denying Eminem. Eminem is one of the greatest of all time. He's definitely not as underground as some of these rappers, obviously Ryan's picked or we've picked, but he's definitely, he's one to be fucking
and he's not canceled yet, right? So
I'm surprised that he never got canceled. He got canceled by the Republicans. That's it.
That's true.
His newest album was pretty bad.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
He tried to split his personas. He's like, the guy who said all the bad things wasn't me. It was the other me. And I'm like, oh, that's a cop out and a half.
But I'm sure he did it in a very in a cool rhyme scheme because
because it's the same as his previous album as well.
His rhyme patterns are pretty insane.
Yeah, they all start to sound the same after a while, I think. Like the last CD, you could just pinpoint back to the previous album of the same song. It was pretty weak.
He's definitely someone who changed the game, someone who was doing things that nobody else was doing at the time. Mm-hmm. And I respect him for that, obviously. He worked to get where he was by his rhyme skills alone.
Right.
So, props, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Greg. I guess I know what your next pick is, but go ahead, buddy.
It could be 2 things. There's multiple albums right there, but I'm going to edit it so you don't know what I'm thinking. This album featured many people like Erykah Badu, CeeLo Green, Be Real, Killer Mike. I'm talking about Outkast's fourth album, Stankonia, released in 2000.
So good.
I was gonna pick the Love Below and Speaker Box.
Those are good, man.
I love both those albums.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Dewey Pod today, and like, you know, one of the ones he chose, like, yeah, I'd leave out the other one. I was like, huh, really? I'm like the opposite. I like that one better, but again, they're kind of one album together. Outkast usually produces their own shit. They're fantastic. I think Andre 3000 is one of the greatest rappers of all time. I mean, his best rhymes are in his Flute album for sure.
Oh, he plays the flute, huh?
Yeah,
that's all he does now.
He's got, his last album was like Killer Mike was like, oh yeah, Andre 3000 is coming out with this new album. It's gonna change hip hop, blah blah blah, and like he just released a Flute album.
And it was not like, you know, I love me some jazz flute, you know, done right. But this was just all over the fucking place. And I was like, maybe you should have stuck to rapping.
Yeah, I know people who like argue it and fight for it. And again, like I'm sure it's a good album. I mean, it's no Ron Burgundy on the jazz flute, but
but what is? I mean,
Stankonia is just an absolutely banger of an album, fucking top to bottom. So many great songs, so many great guests. I love Big Boy as well. Big Boy's a fucking fantastic rapper. In fact, like covering rap artists and being in a cover band, Eminem is one of the toughest to learn. Like, it takes me fucking so long to learn Eminem's rhyme patterns. But one of the hardest rappers to learn was Big Boy. Big Boy's fucking rhyme scheme is just like all over the place, really sporadic, and just like, I don't know. I think Big Boy doesn't get enough respect. But yeah,
you know, we're gonna get an Outkast album next year.
I fucking hope.
I mean,
so.
This fucking stupid Flute album was the writing on the wall that he's coming back. He had like a nervous breakdown, man. Like, that's why Outkast stopped making music. He developed like crippling anxiety. He was afraid to leave his house and shit. Like, really? You know, I mean, that mental health shit's real. Even for doesn't matter how much money you have or what you're doing. If you're fucked in the head, you're fucked in the head.
For sure. Right, one of the best things is the Key and Peele skit with Outkast. Have you seen that shit?
Nah.
Oh my god, dude, you gotta look that shit up. He's like, Big Boy's just sitting at a coffee shop, and all of a sudden, like, Andre 3000 like comes in. And he's like, oh my god, Big Boy! And he's like, I'll take a latte in a leaf. he orders the most ridiculous shit. I'll send it to you, dude. It's so fucking funny, dude. It's awesome. Nice.
I guess that does it for our fucking our top 5 indie, not so indie hip hop songs, the 2000s. Early 2000s, 2000-aughts, the aught-thousands. But we have some listener responses. And Greg, why don't you tell me what the people had to say?
All right. So Mr. Scott, the Don himself from You Run Podcast, said hip-hop in the 2000s kind of passed them by, besides the W by Wu-Tang and Marshall Mathers LP. He said he was in his rock phase.
That happens, man.
Yeah.
I probably was too.
Mm-hmm.
Dewey Pod Monster says, these aren't in any order, but Speaker Box, Outkast, Big Boy. And I sent him a message. I said, so do you want to leave the Love Below out? And he's like, yeah, pretty much.
For me, Speaker Box was the superior of those two albums, by the way.
See, I like Love Below, but it was definitely not the hip hop. It was definitely more like funky and like more experimental, but I don't know. I really vibed to the Love Below.
Nice.
Speaker Box is fantastic as well, too.
Speaker Box.
Mad Villainy. It's going to get its like second or third not today from MF
Fuck
Doom. Yeah. Let's Get Free by the Dead Presidents.
Ooh, nice.
To the Five Boroughs. Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
The New Danger. Mos Def. He's got honorable mentions.
Mos Def, you know, his favorite rapper, MF Doom.
Hey,
that's why they called him your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Black on Both Sides, Missed It by a Year, or that definitely would have been on my list. For honorable mentions, he's got Iron Flag, Wu-Tang Clan, Quality by Talib Kweli, and Phrenology by The Roots. Another fucking banging album.
Yeah. Great list.
Yeah. Yep, fantastic list. All right, Michelle. She's got Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP, Ghostface Killah, Supreme Clientele.
Ooh, that's my favorite Ghostface album.
Right? That's amazing. That was his follow-up. Outkast, Speaker Box, and The Love Below. Getting a second nod. Missy Elliott, Under Construction.
Oh, dang.
And then De La Soul, The Grind Date, 2004.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, dude. De La Soul. That's De La Soul's gonna make another mention. My boy Jason Demers showed me some of the best hip hop I've listened to. He's got Mad Villainry, MF Doom, Supreme Clientele, Ghostface.
Great.
The Grind Date, De La Soul.
Great.
Monkey Bars, Sean Price.
Don't know it.
And Die Rugged Man Die, R.A. the Rugged Man.
Now, dude, R.A. the Rugged Man is honestly one of my favorite rappers of all time as well, man. If you haven't heard R.A. the Rugged Man, Nate, check out his shit, man. His newest album, I listen to it once a month, man.
Right.
I mean, he's pretty offensive.
Yeah.
You know, he's offensive as fuck, but his knowledge of hip hop is so fucking deep and so respectful, and his wordplay is just insane. And switching up his flows and shit, he's at the top of my list right now.
All right. Put that on the list.
All right. The brother from the Mustard Smuggler, Mr. Sean Rogers checking in. We got Deltron 3030. We got Atmosphere God Loves Ugly. Outcast Stankonia. The Roots Phrenology. And finally, The Roots The Tipping Point. Because,
you go.
They both qualify.
Beautiful, Mr. Rogers. And
that is the list from the people that checked in. And thank you, everybody, for giving us your top 5 hip-hop albums of 2000, 2005. I know it's kind of last minute, but we appreciate you checking in with us. Those are all great.
Absolutely.
Lists.
Obviously, I want a big thank you to Nate. Appreciate you coming on. Love what you guys are doing.
Embarrass myself.
No, you're great, man.
My hip-hop knowledge.
You're a fucking real musician, obviously. You know, that's first and foremost, and that's what I appreciate about you.
Hell yeah.
Love the drumming, you know, big fan of the drumming. Okay. So, thanks for coming on. Someday I'll do some of that fucked up true crime stuff with you guys, I'm sure.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So yeah, thank you, Nate. And I want to thank each and every one of you listeners. You're all beautiful, beautiful people.
You know, we rep the You Run Podcast Network. Check out all those shows from Dewey Pod to The Girl and the Gay, Pop Culture Reflections. You run true crime, you run horror, all that stuff. There's so many to name. I want to say there's 20 shows now, which is
we're growing,
insane.
Baby. We got more shows coming too.
Mondo Social Club. Yeah. Shit's fucking popping off. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. Like us, follow us, subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pod Music, all that shit. And if you want to follow us on Patreon or donate to our Patreon, you can get episodes a week early. You can request an episode.
Yeah. All right, everybody. And keep in mind one thing, will you please? In crust, we trust. A check it. A check it, y'all.
A nigga something mystery ass pop stuff crust. Stuff crust, yeah, stuff crust. What's cheese, gonna bust, yeah, pop stuff.